Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of BD Radio, or morning or afternoon, whatever time it is you're listening. Evening for us. Just put the kids to bed. We've got some granola on, and we thought we'd answer some questions. But our New Year's resolution, or mine anyway, to do more podcasts, starting off well. 2 in a fortnight. It's good for us.
Well done.
Doing well. Pat on the back. Actually, before we continue, we did tease New Year's resolutions last episode about what we'd be focusing on, I think. Or actually, yeah, because we were a little bit undecided with our own health ones. Can you tell everyone what your health goal was and how you completed it on the 5th of January, please? Worst resolution ever.
No, it wasn't all. No, you
Tell the story.
You misunderstood. So I have been running again of late. Whereas
So what does that
I don't
look
run
like?
very often. So,
No.
but I
When
have
you say
started,
running, what do you mean? Like around the block or like be
I've been
specific?
running 5 kilometers,
How many times a week?
2 to 3 times a week.
And you would normally get what time? Because you are time, like it's not a jog. Like you often run to the clock.
Yeah, so running, I don't know, between 5 minutes 30 and 5 minutes 45. per
Okay,
kilometre.
so it
what's that,
takes
about
you
20
roughly 27
27
yeah,
minutes.
ish, either side.
Yeah. And that's slow for me,
Yes.
considering I used to run all the time.
Yeah.
And I would consistently run under 5 minute kilometres, so 25 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what was your New Year's resolution?
To get back to 5 minute kilometres, so 25 minutes.
Yep.
And then Ben said to me, you could do that tomorrow. And of course, I took this as a challenge. And on my next run, I tried a little bit harder.
Yep.
And I may have got under 5 minutes per kilometre. And
On January what?
on January 5th, I think it was.
It's about then.
In the first week of Jan. However, it was not easy. What I meant by my goal was like, that is my consistent time. Like that was like, I was blowing a gasket trying to get that. Like that was extremely hard.
So we had a
That wasn't a jog.
specificity issue.
Yeah,
Now there's a lesson here.
there is a lesson.
Because a lot of I've had conversations this week with a lot of our guys. It's actually quite common this year, and it's good. I like it a lot. There's lots of running goals in the gym,
There is.
half marathons
Yep.
in particular. But a lot of the people who are telling me this, Hayley, if you're listening, you can run this like easily. It needs to be more specific. It needs to be.
So you could run that tomorrow, like Ben told me.
It's my favourite thing to say at the moment. Everyone's heard it. It's like, it needs to be more, I want to run it and enjoy it, so it's roughly 7 out of 10 difficulty, or it's, I want to do it in this time.
Yeah.
Because you can get through a lot just through sheer grit. So like that
Depends
5K.
on your personality.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Bite down on the mouth guard and run, and you'll hit your time, but it's not like, maybe the goal would be you'd like to do 2 weeks of consistently under that time to know that it's just your pace now.
Yeah, so I assumed you understood everything that goes on in my head.
I'm very literal.
Yes.
I'm assuming that I understand everything that goes on in a girl's head. Wow. Have you learnt nothing? But yeah, so we had issues with that. My own goals. I want to use my fitness more this year. And what that kind of means, like, training in the gym all the time, you're getting stronger all the time, which is great. Knees feeling good, which has been an issue for a little while, so that's all well and good. And yes, I train to feel good and I enjoy it and all of that stuff, but it's still nice to get out and about and actually be like, okay, what can I do? So I just want to do more like events stuff. So we've got a weightlifting comp coming up in a couple of months, which is
Shout out to who?
Josh from Controlled Chaos in Coburg. So I got peer pressured into that last weekend. And
Peer pressured.
Peer pressured.
Wow.
Well, they said you should do it, and I was like, fine. Peer pressured. Yeah, and I reckon maybe we'll like to do the Spartan that we wanted to do last year.
I was
Remember?
about to say.
In Bright.
Yeah.
That was we had a few clients on board with that as well. It would have been a great weekend, but bloody Rona ruined that. So this weekend, take 2, the Bright. I think it's like their flagship weekend.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. Like it's a long weekend, and they've got all kinds of events. So maybe the 21 or marathon there. Maybe not marathon. That'd be a bit keen, wouldn't it?
You could do it tomorrow, Ben.
Yeah, I couldn't be bothered training to do a marathon, but I'd be interested just to see how it went. All right. Anyway, so yes.
I just had a picture of my head in my
just
head.
like bear crawling my way to the finish.
Yeah, you're that idiot at the end of the marathon who hasn't trained.
You're blowing up my microphone.
Sorry. He was just like limping over the line. Like,
yeah, but finishing.
But yeah, of course he'd finish.
And then getting the green whistle and getting taken to the Alfred.
Yeah, but I've got the image in my head.
But finishing.
Sorry, I got a bit loud, yeah.
But finish it.
Yeah.
Sorry to everyone's earpods. Cheapers. Anyway, so yes, that's our goals. Danielle's going to be more specific and assume I can't read her mind, and I'm going to use my fitness a bit more. Fun things.
Fabulous.
Should we get to our questions?
Yes.
All right. This one was my favourite, so I'm just going to lead with it. If one of you left, who'd be the best replacement for the podcast?
So you do me first. So if I'm gone, knock on wood.
What? Knock on wood that you do go, or knock on wood that you don't? But see, I read this like one of left what? Like left my life? Like have you dropped me? Because that's a different answer. But for purely podcast, I was like, they'd have to be like knowledgeable, funny, but like also, you know, like fit. So I was just thinking like J-Lo. She did a 14-day no carbs challenge once. She knows her stuff. Easy on the eyes.
So you just want to sit across from
well,
her
this was I was
for
like, have you left my life? Yeah, have you left my life, or what? Can I make moves or not? You know, the kids will need a mother. Like jeepers. So yeah, that'd be J-Lo, and I can educate her on why her health things are stupid, or Halle Berry, her stuff's stupid as well. Sorry, Halle, if you're listening. I know you're a dedicated listener. But yeah, you guys need to level up and stop spouting misinformation.
Wow, I took this question way more serious than you did.
I actually hadn't thought about it until before I asked you. I was like, I wonder what her answer would be.
Well, yeah, no, my answer was actually, a
like
friend.
Actually exercise-based.
Actually exercise-based, a calculated decision. It would be my friend Josh, who has a gym. We share similar values in terms
weightlifting gym. We just spoke about Josh. Yeah.
In terms of training, he's someone that pushes me outside my comfort zone. So I know he'd make me do this, just as you forced me to do this. Like sometimes when life gets a bit busy.
Like at 9 o'clock now.
Yeah, exactly. Like at 9 o'clock on
good stuff.
On a Wednesday night.
It's good stuff.
But yeah, someone that will continue to make me do this.
Yeah, and I told you why it'd be a bad idea, because Josh, if you're listening, you talk so loud that it's an editing nightmare.
Yeah, that is what he said about you,
Like
Josh.
He's the loudest talker I know. Like yells non-stop.
He constantly scares our children.
Yeah, I know. They're petrified. But nice guy though. So that's good. All right. Next question. Josh for you, Jennifer Lopez for me. From Instagram. The worst piece of advice you've ever heard given to a client. I guess it could be like, you know, what a client has told us they've been told before. Or actually, looking back, have you given any advice to clients that you were like, oh, I wish I hadn't said that, that's wrong? Because I definitely have. But that's just, I guess that's part and parcel of like...
different, and I think it's just us in general. You tend to...
Yeah, I was way overconfident. I'm like, I know everything. And now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm lucky I didn't hurt anyone.
Yeah, I was about to say, everything, I'm probably just a little bit more calculated than you are.
Yeah.
Just generally, like...
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything I've ever said to someone
I can't think of any specific examples. I'm sure old clients of mine would be like, now you post about this, you used to tell me this was stupid. And I'm like, oh, I apologize to anyone who's listening. But I think it's like your beliefs change. Like a lot of early trainers, like a lot of the way they train people are based on how they train themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of the biggest learnings for me, is that what works for me and what I enjoy may not be best for
Actually, I know
my clients.
one for you. Yeah, I know one for you.
For me,
Training, like women, like pre and postnatal.
Oh,
like
yeah, for
all
sure.
the considerations.
Yeah, that's what I've had to learn, 100%.
And that's definitely an area I think I've improved in giving better advice after having Mia and Harry, because it was very different to when I had William, what I actually...
Well, you weren't weight training then.
Yeah, exactly. So from experience, I've learned a lot, and I think it's made me, a way better coach.
Yeah, I just think what's probably made me a better coach is realising that I don't know everything. Shocker. And just being like, actually... And also having the courage, if someone asks you a question, to say, I don't know.
Yeah, refer. I think...
Yeah. Whereas early doors, you're like, oh, if I can't answer this, then they'll think that I don't know my stuff. When it's the complete opposite.
Yeah,
they're like,
about
oh, cool.
Injury related stuff, and people are like, oh, I've got this, like this is hurting, and I was like, look,
I don't know.
I
don't even entertain it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Go to
see
a
a physio. Yeah.
They will communicate with us. I can help you on the training side.
Yeah.
That's probably a big one. And that coming back to the question, that's probably the worst advice I've ever heard from someone. Like, PTs thinking they're...
Oh, yeah. Oh,
qualified.
I had a knee injury once. I did this. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of herd. But the biggest thing for me, which I was just talking to you about, was what I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it was a big shock for me when I used to go and train with Ben in a commercial gym. So
when I worked there, yeah.
There was, this might surprise a lot of people, I haven't trained in a lot of, like, commercial gyms in my life. Like,
You've never coached in one either.
No,
You've
I've never
only coached in studios or private, yeah.
Yeah. Like, maybe when I was 15, 16, like, we used to go to Thomastown, it was $2.
The jump on the treadmills. Actually, tell people what you used to do. Didn't you used to go and then get ice creams after or something?
Sarah and I'll get generally a Mars bar on our way out.
Yeah,
because they're in the fridge.
Post-workout, am I right? In the fridge at the gym.
And it tasted delicious.
I bet. You earned that. I've done 200 calories on the treadmill. That's 200 calories a Mars bar. Let's get it.
Okay, let's get back on topic.
Yeah, worst piece of advice.
Yeah, the advice. So seeing qualified PTs load up
poor movement.
Yeah. Like, I just think, like, it's horrific. Like, the damage they could be doing to individuals is just, next level. Yeah. And I just remember constantly coming in and, like, I would be mortified and, like, wanting to help people, and you're like, you just have to zone out.
I was double vaxxed. I was like, obviously, it doesn't affect me anymore. But I remember I was like, I think even I was talking to you early doors about, you'll never believe what such was doing. Like, it was crazy to us at that time, but like, that's the reality of our industry.
Yeah.
Is that you can watch a couple of videos online, answer a multiple choice, and all of a sudden people trust you with a bad lower back and type 1 diabetes, and you're like, oh my God. Like, it's not a game.
Very, very stressful to watch.
But that's an industry issue altogether, and one that we are not qualified to help with.
Yes.
Over to you, Fitness Australia. The worst piece of advice I've ever heard given to a client would have to be nutrition based. And you know what? It's like, it's not it's not crazy because we've all read it or heard it before, but it is just so dumb.
What is it? A juice cleanse?
No. That is dumb. It's don't eat too much fruit because of the sugar.
That's the worst thing you've ever heard.
No, but it's just like,
that's just the thing that bothers you the most.
No,
that's not the worst thing.
What's worse than that?
How is that the worst piece of advice you've
It
ever
was what
heard?
came to mind. There were hundreds of contenders, but this one just jumped out. I'm like, that is just so bad. Such bad advice.
Of course it is, but I don't think it's, to me, worse. I'm thinking
It's not
damaging.
shocking. Oh, yeah.
It's like it's gonna hurt
pretty
someone.
damaging.
It's
Imagine
gonna
if you
harm
loved a Granny
someone.
Smith and now you were like, oh, I want to lose weight, so I'll stop eating Granny Smiths. Like, are you joking? And like a person asked me this, and I was like, think of your, like most overweight friend, and is their problem watermelon? It's like, probably not. Like fruit is good, for goodness sake. Don't overthink it.
That wasn't what I thought you'd say, but next question.
What did you think I would say?
We need to keep this at about 30 minutes. I've had someone tell me that it's the perfect length for their walk.
Oh, well, we're at 15 or 30 at the moment, so we're cruising.
All right, shout out to Deb.
All right, here's one. All right, for the average Joe, all of us, working out 3 to 4 times per week, all of us,
Go us.
does any form of protein powder make a difference, or would a couple of eggs and a good glass of milk do the trick?
I love this minus the milk.
Explain your position on milk.
Milk. Humans do not need... We are the only...
Yeah,
we do not need to drink milk. Let's be very clear.
yeah,
We are the only species that drinks another species' milk.
yeah. What about cats? They drink cow's milk, don't they? But in there? No.
No, only because humans...
Is that just in the movies?
Only because humans give them cow's milk.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. They're actually lactose intolerant. You can buy special
Are they actually?
kitten milk and
You would know
doggy
this because your
milk.
mum's a cat freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can buy special milk for them.
Yeah.
However, we've gone way off here.
I mean, the purpose of milk is to get you to grow big and fat, basically.
Yeah, it's to turn a calf into a cow. So
Yeah.
if you're looking to bulk up a little, sure, have some milk.
Yeah.
But there is no need for milk unless you really like milk and want to make that part of your diet. Like that's something you want.
Yeah, so like, is it fair to say that in the absence of a calorie surplus, so if you're eating at like a maintenance level for performance and feeling good and comfortable with everything, and you drink milk every day, what's the big deal?
Yeah, if you enjoy it and
Yeah.
you make that part of your
Yeah.
daily intake. Sure.
So it very much depends on, like, I mean, it's hard to answer questions like this without understanding the context of where you are now, where you'd like to go.
Who is this?
This is my Uncle Mike.
Oh, Mike, you're
Yeah.
fine drinking milk.
Yeah. Mike, you can drink some milk. But, like, does any form of protein powder make a
protein.
difference? The only trouble most people find with protein could be, like, just how they digest it. So make sure it's something that doesn't bloat you or upset your tummy. Whey protein's typically regarded as the most
best.
effective.
Yeah.
But like if you're vegan or vegetarian or you prefer the pea protein, I would say that the presence of protein powder in a diet is a good thing, and it doesn't necessarily matter which one it is as long as you enjoy it and it doesn't make you feel sick.
Yes. Ben
Yeah.
is more processed protein than I am. Just in general, where I could, I would definitely go a natural source. So I would definitely
Yeah.
go eggs over protein powder any day of the week.
Yeah. I've changed. I never have protein powder anymore.
Yeah, you don't used to have it every single day.
I used to have it all the
Yeah.
time because, you know why? Actually, bad advice. Got to have your protein shake half an hour after a workout. Guys, that is not true. The protein window is not 30 minutes. The anabolic window is up to 24 hours. Daily intake matters. Don't worry about what you eat immediately after you train. Anyway,
If you're
keep
at
going.
that point, you're an athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would always go natural. Coming back to that processed protein, I used to work with someone at Melbourne Airport.
Get that protein farts.
No,
Oh.
Ben.
So, well,
I
that's where I was
have
going. Protest
Educated
protein.
conversations with people, and you go protein farts.
Protein farts happen.
No. So, anyway, at the airport where we used to park, it was quite a long walk to the office. So I ended up parking all the time with this one guy, and we'd end up walking to work together all the time. And he was telling me that
Steps up.
yes, well, that's where he lived at the Steps Airport actually.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that his partner was a doctor and that she was currently involved in some studies linking middle-aged men who had excessive processed protein intake with testicular cancer.
Before everyone throws out their packets of protein, is that actually like...
No, she was like working on, like, obviously
okay.
I haven't read anything. This is just a conversation I was having with him about the work that his partner was doing.
Yeah.
But I found that very interesting because I do find a lot of the things that I hear in day-to-day life, like infertility, is very common for young, fit, healthy people. And it makes me wonder, what are we doing to our bodies that is causing these things to happen?
I'll tell you what we're doing, but I don't want to upset anyone on the podcast, so moving on.
Processed protein, I'm not a huge fan of. Do look at the packets. I would tell anyone, try and go for your cleanest option.
Yeah. Don't get the cheapest one.
Oh my gosh, if you look on the back and
Musashi, you will never sponsor us. You are straight trash. Don't get that from Coles.
Stop it. If there's if the ingredients list is 50 long and it's got 200 numbers in it,
pull it back.
Please don't consume it.
Yeah, pull it back.
Yeah, that's not good for you.
Yeah. With this stuff, like, you sort of get what you pay for with supplements.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay for a better quality.
The people who take the most precautions and do the best testing and make sure that all their vats are clean and they're not mixing it with steroids in China are the people whose protein powder, like, that is a legit thing, are the people whose protein powders are a little bit more expensive because it costs money to do these tests and everything. So yeah, if you are thinking about getting a protein powder, message us first and we'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah, true.
Point you in the right direction. But I think, like, would a couple of eggs and a glass of milk do the trick? It's a matter of efficiency. Like, if you...
Mike, you need more than 2 eggs.
Yeah, that too. But it's like, if you are already, eating quite a lot and you're looking to add in a meal and you don't necessarily want to begin eating too much and start to gain weight, then you'd probably go the more efficient option of the protein powder. But if you're just looking to adjust a meal and you're like, smoothies, but I want to pad it out a little bit, then yeah, eggs, perfect. Like, it's the amount of calories you're consuming to get that protein in. Protein powder will typically make it more efficient.
I don't know, because I haven't spoken to Mike, but I think the question's more about the amount of protein rather than the caloric value.
Oh, okay. So to get 30 grams of protein that you'd probably get in like a typical serve of protein powder, you'd be looking at like maybe 4 eggs.
4 eggs, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd go 4 eggs over.
Yeah. I would too.
Protein powder.
I would never have used to, but I would now for sure.
Yeah.
But lots of people will hear me say 4 eggs and be like, "Wow, that's way too many." And I ask you why. Eggs. We can talk about them another time. But yes, eggs and a good glass of milk will do the trick. Moving on. Holidays. How to stay on track mentally, physically, and nutritionally when you are not in your normal environment on holidays.
I love this so much.
I know it's probably a bit late into the holidays now, but I think it's worth a discussion. You're goddamn right it's worth a bit of a discussion.
Always. Because life is never always the same. You're never always going to be in the same routine. Something will always pop up. But does that mean we throw all our hard work out the window? No.
It is if you don't know what you're doing. But lucky for you, you've got us. And we know what we're doing, so we can tell you what you're doing. So let's break it down. It's like the physically and the nutritionally staying on track for me affect the mentally. So it's not like I get in the car and I've got the suitcases packed and all of a sudden I don't care about my health and fitness. Like, that's not how it works for me anyway. Like, but if I'm like not as active as I would like to be, or I haven't trained in a week or so, like, I start to feel bad. So then that, obviously if I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling sad. That's not nice. And, like, if I'm starting to eat badly for days on end, then I start to feel bad and I'm less likely to be active and then I'm sad. So what we like to do is when we go away, and granted, it's not for long stretches of time. Like, we'll go away for a long weekend. If I don't do a weight session in a long weekend, it's okay. And like that's something that's probably taken me a while to get to, because I used to be like a bit stressed, like I've lost all my strength or anything, which is rubbish. But you know, that's just the way I used to feel. So what are you going to do? But like we will still do something active. We'll go for a long walk on the sand dunes, or we'll do the Point Nepean track, something like that, maybe once or twice. But we'll do something active every day, and we'll typically try and do it earlier on in the day. On holidays, for us, if it doesn't get done early, it doesn't get done. No way am I going for a run at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but we'd be more likely to go for a run at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's us. I would definitely keep that in mind. Get it done early would be my number one activity tip. Nutritionally, same thing. I would try and control the controllables. Like I would try and have a good breakfast. I would try and have a decent lunch. And then, you know, like if we were like, the dinner tends to be the meal that's probably, for holidays for us, probably least out of our control. Then I would like, I know that I've had a good breakfast and lunch, and if the dinner isn't perfect, then it's all good. I'm on holidays, relax. Or if we have a dessert, it's no problem, because I know I can have my eggs on toast the next day or something like that. So like when it's my meal and I'm in control, I just look for protein, vegetables, tick the box, and then all good. Agree? Disagree? Did I say anything stupid?
I didn't say anything stupid. I'm probably a little bit more, so like, what's the word?
Clever?
No. Like, I don't vary as much as you can.
Nah.
Like, year round, apart from Christmas Day.
You are a Toyota Chrysler.
I'm that Corolla that never dies.
Toyota Chrysler, what did I say? Yeah, Corolla is what I meant to say. You are a 2008 hatchback.
Yeah, just
steady as she goes.
Yeah, I'll never win anything. I'm just average.
And you never break down.
And I'll never break down. I'm reliable.
Oh,
whereas
Benjamin over here.
You'll be a bit more relaxed.
Got yourself a temperamental MG. Geez, it looks nice. Dare I say. Goes quick, breaks down often.
Oh, you are so funny. No, so like I probably enjoy more stuff like when we're on holidays, like snacking on fruit. Or like to me that's like abnormal behaviour.
Yeah.
Like the snacking.
Oh, Benjamin, like snacking on M&Ms.
And obviously when you're not in control, you, like you said, control the controllables. So, like, you know, when we are eating meals that I can completely control, like...
Smash it out of the ballpark.
Smash it.
Yeah.
Like, we take our own food places generally.
Yeah. When you say take our own food, like, we don't pack Tupperwares of meals.
No.
But we just take essentials.
Yeah.
So like we'll have some good crackers, or we know we've got eggs, or we know we've got, you know, granola and some yogurts and just stuff like that where, you know, or we'll... look ahead and see what's available, that sort of stuff.
It always surprises me when I say we take food.
They say you take food, people think like they meal prep for their holidays.
No, we don't meal prep. But then I look around me and I'm like, oh, other people do take food as well, but they're pulling out like Lay's, potato chips,
Lay's,
and pretzels, and
Smiths.
You know, and I'm like, oh wow, like, but you don't even think twice. Like that's just their natural behaviour.
We're also lucky with the things we enjoy though, like if someone pulls out a cheese board, like I don't bat an eyelid. But for a lot of our clients, like they love cheese, like that. Yeah, that's tough. So if you go into a place with friends, or you're like they're gonna pull out the snacks, there's gonna be alcohol. That's probably all the more reason to really focus on your breakfast and lunch and feel good about those two.
Yeah.
And just know that like.
And always taking that approach of a little bit better.
I was about to drop some knowledge there.
Oh, really? Sorry.
Yeah. A little bit better is fine, but it is never as good as you think it is or as bad as you think it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if you come back from a holiday and you're like, it was a disaster. Like I went with the intention of staying on track and blah, blah, blah. Like how long was your holiday? A week?
Yeah.
Like you'd be fine.
Yeah.
You know, like you might be a tiny bit up on the scales or whatever and feeling a bit bloated and feeling a bit bad. 3 days, 2 workouts, you'll be feeling like a champion again.
Yeah, maybe we should roll into Deb's question from this. just because we're talking about the week out of the year.
Oh, yeah. What's
Alright.
that? The averages question?
The average question.
Yeah, so just to wrap up that holidays, like you have to make sure that the potential stress that you feel about either the choices or what's going to be available doesn't actually, like a holiday is a time to relax and recover, recuperate, all the R words.
Yeah, what is the purpose of a holiday?
Yeah, like
Not to be...
chill out, trust yourself, you'd
Yeah.
be fine. And you know, when you get back, you've got us, so it's all good. All right, so rolling into the question. Averages, do they mean anything? Question mark. So in this context, it's steps. It's been a long day. I went to the dentist and I'm sitting at about 8,500 steps for the day. We'll probably hit about 9,000 by the time I go to bed. But across the last 4 days, I'm at 48,000, so 12,000 per day. Is that okay, or do I have to hit 10,000 every day?
I love this. Because we actually replied to this person and then they answered their own question, which is what I like to do. I like people to nut it out themselves.
That's jeepers, yeah.
Yeah.
Philosopher Dan.
Yeah.
All right, Dumbledore.
Consistency is key, always. What you do one day, if you put so much weight and emphasis on that one day and 1,000 steps,
Yep.
and you beat yourself up about it
Yep.
and put yourself in a negative headspace,
Yep.
that is going to do you no good.
It's actually going to do you harm.
It's going to do you harm.
Yeah.
We are always looking for what you
Consistency,
do
steady.
consistently.
Yeah, not up
So
and down
a week
waves.
is a very good period for something to average for something like steps.
Yeah, and it depends what it is as well, because steps, you're right, a week's a good thing,
Yeah.
but like for something else like training, a month could even be better.
Yes, exactly. And it's funny because this person's actually an accountant.
Yeah.
And I said,
Numbers driven.
we know that certain stats are relevant at times, and at other times they mean absolutely nothing. Like you wouldn't even look twice at them. So why would you use it? So really think about the context,
Yeah.
which is what we did.
Just general movement and activities. Like
Yeah. And then that will determine the stat you use.
also think about like why we talk about steps with client is to just get them generally focused on being more active. So it's just to bring general activity to the front of your mind, because if you think about it more, you're more likely to be active and therefore reap all the benefits that has. But if you're at 9,000 steps in the day and you've got your heart set on a 10,000 goal, walking around the block once to get to 10,000 is going to do nothing for your health, apart from give you that satisfaction that you hit 10,000, which like X's and O's wise, it doesn't matter. You know, so you're absolutely spot on. Like something like steps though, like I think it's important to make this point. Our bodies and health respond really well to consistency. So like not bouts of like hard intensity and then pulling back. So like all or nothing, we don't do really well with, but steps, it is better to do a consistent amount each day than it is to have a 20,000 day and then a 2,000 day. So keep that in mind as well. Like, you know, if you have a massive day of 16,000 or something like that, and then have the next day of 3, like it'd be more beneficial for you to hit 2 days of 9. You know, just to have general activity as a part of your day rather than
It's
a huge event and then nothing.
Concreting good behaviours.
Yeah. It's lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's lifestyle.
Not
Alright.
motivation.
Hey,
Not motivation.
what do you mean?
So you know how like some days it's like, oh wow, like I feel great. I'm gonna, you know, like New Year's resolution. I'm gonna smash the gym for a week. I'm gonna drink juice every morning.
Drink juice.
And it's like, well, you know, if we just build on, you know, one little thing and building some consistency on that behavior, that becomes part of your lifestyle, and you don't think about it.
That's not what people want to hear. They want the quick fix. But if anyone has the quick fix, please let me know. We can start a business.
I think that was one of the questions on Instagram, wasn't it?
Was it?
We won't answer it, but I saw it on your Instagrams.
Oh yeah, is
Something like
there
that.
a pill to help me stop gaining weight on holidays? And I was like, no, there isn't. But if you do, please let me know. We will invest with Squillionaire, and I will not have a bad night's sleep thinking about it. That's right.
Really?
Yeah, ethically, my morals don't have any. All right, that is all our questions. We shall see you next week, hopefully. Hope everyone has a good week.
Bye, guys.